What that make you? Good? You're not good. You just...
All right, man. You already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. So a lot of y'all, I guess y'all already knew who I was going to have on tonight. Talk about it. It's been a long time coming. This is the infamous Philly, man. This is my brother Philly.
What up, y'all?
Me and Philly go back to 1998, man. I tell y'all, like, this is my brother, and I try to explain it. A lot of y'all can understand what I say when I say it's my brother. Like, you go through things in life that make you family, and then you go through things with your family at times that make them not family no more. But I went and scooped him up yesterday. It's the first time we've seen each other in a decade. He just come home from doing 9 years. He left in 2015 and just came home this April of 2024. And it was a good feeling seeing you for the first time. Like,
Ain't my man.
Like, we go back, man. We go back to, I'm talking about when dudes didn't fully have chin straps yet. Yeah.
I still had a little, my goatee ain't even connect.
Yeah. So, I mean, and we've done it, man. We've been in several facilities together. We've been cellmates together. And I tell y'all, like, when I say we went through war in the streets together, we really went through war in the streets. There's stories we could tell, and there's stories that we can't tell. But as everybody knows, you're from Philly, right? What part of Philly you from?
You know, man. Southwest, SWP all day. All day.
And how do you describe growing up in Philly, man?
Man, I'm just gonna say Wrecking City, man. You know, growing up out there, you know, that made me who I am, man. Growing up out there, bro, you know, we was a hand-throwing city, man. Grew up since I was 5 years old, man. I was wrecking out there from elementary school, Patterson Elementary School, Pepper Middle School, Bartram High School, Youth Study Center, CF, all the way up, man. Just all the craziness growing up, man. Just, you know, I was always a little dude, man. Short guy, you know what I mean? I'm 5'7" now, you know. And man, coming up, you know, I learned how to fight real early, man. But after that, I got me a little names. You know, when you a short little dude with a name, you know,
gotta put it in.
Yeah, people think they can get some points off you. You know what I mean? So, you know, we used to, you know, we won't into the gang stuff. If you know about Philly, it ain't big on gangs out there. You know
Neighborhoods, right?
So it's like, you know, we more neighborhood street corners. You know, I'm from 68th Street. You know what I mean? Southwest, and yeah, man, we wrecked. We used to get it in out there, man. So yeah.
This something I can say, right? You're a lot like to me, you'll always be who you are. I know who you are. I see who you are, but you're a lot different. And if for y'all that don't know, let me go ahead and say he was my co-defendant on our first bid. You know, the one I went away for 10, he went away for 6. He came home for a short period of time. I had just gotten out. No sooner I got out, he went back to prison. We always kind of had a cycle like that, right?
Always.
The last time you came out, it wasn't long and you failed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you came out, nothing like you are now. This time you came out, your head is like, your mind is right, man. Yeah. For y'all that want to watch motivational videos, y'all want to like find out more about him, make sure you, after this or during this, you go over real quick and subscribe to GT Philly on YouTube. He started posting on there today and on TikTok. What changed, man? How did you come out of prison, the person that I'm now dealing with, opposed to who you were the last time you came out of prison and who you've always been? What changed?
So the last time I came home, man, you know, it really started from where my mindset was at while I was in there. So while I was in there, you know what I mean, I was motivated. Don't get me wrong. Like my first bid, you know, you would think I was younger. You know, I went in at 20 years old. This last bid, I went in at 30 something, 31, 32 or something. I can't remember. But you know, I was young, but it was like, man, I got real disciplined in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like I kept my head in them books. You know, I ain't deal with the drugs, really the drinking, nothing, you know, until the end of the bid. Like after my last 2 years.
You talking about on your first bid?
My first bid now. I started grinding some tree and everything. So, you know, I did that. That was about the most illegal activity I really did outside of the basic illegal activity. You know what I mean? The wrecking, but I'm talking about like purposefully doing illegal activity. That was the only thing I really got involved with in my first bid. However, I was so disciplined, bro. It really backfired on me because when I first off, when I was doing all these things, the working out, getting my mind, I was trying to come home super Philly, but so that I can shit on people that shit on me.
So you wasn't coming home on some, on anything good. You was coming home when y'all forgot about me. Look at me, I'm back. Like
facts. And I think that's a problem with a lot of the young cats, at least, man, because it's kind of stripes when you're young. You know what I mean? Versus when I was older, got locked up. I'm like, man, you a whole dummy. You know what I mean? The first time, even though it didn't feel, you deal with it like, man, you know you gonna get them stripes. Like anybody that know I'm keeping it a band when I say that. Like if you don't admit that, whatever. But you know, if you was in them streets back then, you a young boy, you know prison gonna give you some stripes and shit. So it'll give you a way to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we take prison as a and I'm not saying it's almost like a badge.
Yeah, like a rite of passage,
like
so to say.
Absolutely. It's something that you shouldn't be proud of, but when you're a street dude, you really don't get that validation until there's certain things you do.
Yeah.
Like for somebody that pops somebody that fights, and then when you go to prison, you've been to the worst of it, so you come back out to the streets with something to prove.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean?
So what changed this go round?
So what it was when I came home with that shit on everybody's personality and attitude, that just kind of backfired because I wasn't really doing the things I wanted to do for me. I was doing it more for less because I wanted to get things to see people see I had it, you know, that type of mindset. So things like that led me to eventually, and also I have to add this in here, man. So I had kind of like leveled up mentally on that first bid. So when I came home, a lot of people, you know, I'm a down to earth person, man. I'm big on authenticity and everything. So I felt like I left when I was like at a certain mind state, people ain't really understand. It made me dumb myself down. But when I was really supposed to move on, you know what I'm saying? So there was things like that versus this time I had I had some support this time, which I had last time, but I had way more support. It was a person that helped me out a lot, man. Real talk. It really helped me like deal with the basics when I came home, that I ain't had to rip and run around the hustle and bustle to where like I'm distracted so fast on getting this and getting that. And it gave me time to think, bro. Like I left from the hole this time too. You know what I mean?
You got out, you came out from the hole.
Yeah, I left from the hole. Like they was trying to take a whole nother year from
me. What put you in the hole this go round?
Bro, they tried to charge me for holding my cellie hostage, disrupting the compound, threatening, all this. They give me a bunch of trumped up stuff. The facility knew it was trumped up. So like I beat the case. I got the charges.
All this stemmed from a fight?
Yeah, just some, you know, just it got crazy, man. It turned into that, and it was like, man, I was at the point I was having 30 days left, and I was in Sussex 1. You know what I'm saying? Anybody knows Sussex 1.
They all don't know Sussex 1 is a slaughterhouse, man. If you see somebody on the news that's caught a body, most likely that's where they're gonna start out. So for inmates like him, you ended up at Sussex 1 from fighting.
Yeah,
you fought your way up the ladder until they put you in max.
Yeah, I started off at level 2 this time, so that's about as low as I can go personally. They got level 1s road camps out here, but you know, me and you can't make it.
The robbery will never let us get there.
Yeah, so we'll always start at level 2 at the lowest. I was locked up on a distribution this time, so I ain't have a violent charge, but I had a violent pass. But it was so long ago, you know, I could start off low. But man, I started off at level 2, y'all. You talking about now this older me versus the younger me when like I said, I was more level-headed and disciplined. But this time, man, I don't know. I felt like I had to like purge myself, so to say. And I knew a lot of people wouldn't understand that at the time and would look at it as an excuse, like, oh, you just making an excuse to get hired. You making an excuse to just don't say fuck it, don't care, reckon doing this. But I knew, no lie, I knew at that time, no one really gonna understand it or know till I got home, like my family and them. Like I told them, I was like, man, there's things I'm gonna tell y'all when I get home. Just right now I can't, because it doesn't look like I'm full of shit. Like if I told them, you know, I had got hired this day, they're gonna think you getting hired every day in there when it's not, just because you're there and they're there. It's two different worlds. You know what I'm saying?
You also can't explain yourself, period, because you're on a prison phone.
Facts.
You're gonna get off the phone, they're gonna come lock you up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So there's things that you just want to disclose. So, you know, and this time, man, like, I don't know, man, like I had to get a lot out of my system, whereas I stayed real disciplined on that bid. And this time I was disciplined at time. Like I said, I always keep my head in the books. Like that's something I love to do. I read. I love books. So, but I wowed out, like literally went from a level 2, man. I was supposed to come home 2022, 2023, like 3 different dates in 2023. And I was supposed to come home in 2022 when a good time build it. They told me I was coming home, the whole rigmarole.
I remember that. You all excited. You're like, man, bro, I'm coming home. They're about to let me go. And years would go by and that never came to fruition.
Never happened. I had to watch hordes of people, dude. Like, and I made myself. This is things that led to me where I'm at now too. So it still is on subject. Like, I literally did this, bro. Like, so before I had made it up to, all right, so I started a 2, went to a 3, which went to Buckingham, and that jank was so turned.
But you was at Buckingham last time too. In your first bid, you was at Buckingham. So now you're back at the place you did the majority of your time.
And I got roots there. I know, the COs was there as captains, lieutenants now, And
so you dug in as soon as you get there, everybody knows you. And you left the name when you left there.
Facts,
so when you come back, they're expecting that same dude that was wrecking, fighting, to return. Like Philly's bag, ain't nothing, you know what I mean? You put it down.
Facts. So, the guards, everybody, and then and the crazy thing was they knew how I carried it. So I can wreck up here on a regular, like they called me to the first time. I smashed dude bad, dude named Banks, smashed dude, broke his shit up real bad. And I got called into the office about it, I got told on, of course, and then this idiots left a bloody mop outside. That kind of told it. But that right there, they come into the office, man. Dude kept it gangster, he ain't tell nothing. I don't know what y'all talking about, you know what I mean? They start trying to joke with me, like, well, why did he come in your room looking this way and left that way? So I'm like, shit, I don't know. Maybe the man allergic to fish or something. This is how they respond. They like, yeah, sure is. I bet he is allergic to fish. I said, nah, motherfucker. I said fish. Ain't no fish, right? You know what I mean? That's what he said to me, like joked it off. They made me sign some paper saying I ain't gonna hurt nobody. Don't feel for his life, my life, all that. I said, cool. He said, everything good, everything good. After that, man, I be wrecking the investigators. And anybody been locked up? No, they the ones that do the investigating and lock your ass up. Normally gun ho. Bro, I be walking in the boulevard. They be like, another one, huh? I be like, man, I don't know what you talking about.
Every time I ran into anybody, like people I've talked about, Fro, and just different people I've talked about throughout the history of my channel that that I know. Anytime I would run into anybody that knew you, the first thing they would say every time is, man, I was up such and such with him, and he trashed this dude, and he trashed that dude. And I'm like, man, they're like, that's the same dude. I'm like, yeah, man, that's him.
Unfortunately, when I say this, y'all, like, I'm a different man now. We're going to get to that. So, like,
there's no glory. I don't want y'all to take this as glorifying violence or, don't try this at home. It's not cool. Prison sucks. Fighting sucks. Facts. But like sometimes I tell you, sometimes you gotta find out who somebody was to start to understand who they've become.
Absolutely.
You can't really see the greatness in who somebody's become unless you really know their story.
Yeah. And with that, like we said, like I still believe this day, and I'm a man of peace. You know what I'm saying? I still believe to this day, like violence necessary because order is necessary. It just sucks that the world we live in, it has to be like that. It just has to be like that. But moving forward with that, hey, it was what it was. It got me in a lot of trouble. I don't regret none of that because it had trained me in a lot of ways. Like we go through training in life, man. A lot of times I think it's problems training. So, anyway, I can't. This bid, man, I turned up, man. I turned up. And when I say turned up in good ways, I turned up in bad ways. And when I say bad ways, you can look at that 2 ways. I turned up on it, going back to my old ways, getting money, doing things. And it was a couple of times I'm real proud of it, man. I just down, bro. Like, so just, beef on my kids. Like, my daughter, me and her had a falling out, man. I love my daughter, man. So we had a falling out, bro, like, for the first time ever, you know what I mean? And it just trashed me, bro. And it was around the time when they told me I won't go home. And, like, I couldn't handle it. It was like, when I finally sit in, like, bro, you're not going home. And then the stuff with the daughter and everything else, and it was like, man, I just started not caring, bro. And I fell out a couple times in there, probably about 3 different short spans of time during a 9-year bid, man, that I just completely just was like done, suicidal at times, the whole time, just like done, kind of like, bro, like this just not of the time, just like I couldn't handle the time. It was just like I just felt like this been my whole life, bro. Since I was 12 years old, this is all I've been doing, looking at these walls, these bars, these doors, hearing them clinking.
When you came home after doing 6 years, you do 6 years solid.
Yeah.
You come home, you're out.
Did a year in between that.
You do. So you come home after 6, you do another year right after that, and you're out maybe another year, and you go back for 9.
Go back for 9, man. And I got, just so y'all know, what I got locked up for the me and Broad case, that was, we got that time for robberies, malicious woundings. I just got, now we got sentenced to 40 years and he did the 10, I got the 8 and then going to the 6. Now, this time I got charged for the same time, 40 years, got everything suspended but 9 for distribution of 3 3 grams of heroin. Sent my ass off for 9 years for that, man. They was trying to hit me with conspiracy, this, that, and the other, but I know my law, son, man. So they weren't able to do that. That was I had to pull that. The lawyer was trying to get me to take pleas, like, man, look, just take the distribution. We'll get the conspiracy dropped. I'm like, yeah, buddy, you tripping? Like, they're gonna drop the conspiracy anyway, because the way they wrote it was wrong. But yeah, so I come home this time, man, like by honestly by turning up on this beat and getting it out my system, man. Because I knew in my mind, like, bro, this is the last chance you ever got in life.
If they grab you again, you're done.
Yeah, like it's over. It's game over.
You'll come out. If you ever come out, you will be an old man.
Facts.
You'll be geriatric.
And it was like something in me was like, bro, you gotta get that shit out of your system. Because once you go home, there's no more like saying fuck it. There's no more being irresponsible. There's no more doing nothing. Like, you cannot go out there on that bullshit. So for me, like, people say this, like, oh, I'm never going back to prison. I'll shoot it out with the police. I'll do this. Listen, bro, never going back to prison again. Ever going back to prison again. I don't care if people think that jinxes me or what. I'm never going back to prison again. And you know, I actually learned this from bro, man. And I ain't gonna say maybe, yeah, kind of like he's the one that kind of brought it to my attention. Because I would ask him, you know, I would be locked up, we talking on the phone, you know, bro, like, damn, you know, I'd be proud of bro, like, how you doing this, man? Like, how did you, what really got me, like, the what he had done was impressive, but I always knew bro had that in him. It was how his mind had changed. It really was like, yo, even to the point I started looking at myself at times like, yo, am I ever going to get it right? Like, because me and bro so much alike in so many ways. It's like, damn, am I ever going to get this right? And it made me realize though, man, like, you know, it was creating the new habits, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, coming home and creating new habits, bro. And like, I really got to thinking about that because it was amazing to me to see bro go from the transition he went through. That was amazing.
Well, we was nonstop in the streets. You know what I mean? Like, so I guess to hear that I've got 2 kids, I'm married, I'm in a home. You know what I mean? Like, not just a home, but a beautiful home.
Yeah.
I've settled down. I had a company at the time, and I'm doing my thing on YouTube. That's not. When you look back on our past, that's not the stuff we remember.
Yeah, and it's the whole mindset shifted with you. You know what I'm saying? And it was like in a grown man good way. You know what I mean? It was like, damn, like, you know, that shit was dope for me because I like to see people win, man. So like saying, bro, win, I'm like, yeah, that's all right, cause like that's like me winning, cause like I see bro winning. You know, that people need references. Like, I don't know if I had told you this, but you know. No lie, like working, you know, me and bro was always out there known for things. You know, bro just knew how to work more than me. He was a little older than me. You know, he was grinding too. We've all grinded, but he worked too. And where I had came from, I had never worked. So I was literally like, had that mindset, like, I didn't know how to even work a job. What I mean is, yeah, physical work. But I'm talking about how do you conduct yourself in that environment. And I really didn't know how to until I got around bro. And I was like, because I was doing too much, like, man, I was trying to tone myself down too much this way, that way, because I always had a little extra to me, you know what I mean? So, but I seen bro conducting himself in there, and it really showed me how to, like, okay, I can do this because we was alike. So it was like, I could just be me for real, just tone it down just a little bit right there, you know what I mean? And enable me to work. So like, when I see someone like me win, and that's how I think people should look at that. So many people hate the next man winning. When they see the next man winning, it's like, oh, why he got that? No, how about you look at that and go, damn, like, yeah, I can do that. But can you stay in your lane though when you do that? That's where people go wrong too. Everything ain't for everybody. But when I seen him doing that, I'm like, oh, like, yeah, I'm feeling that.
In comparison to what I'm doing now, if you think back, like the last time we really hung out was before we went to prison on the very first bid. You know what I mean? You're talking the early thousands. And at the time, neither one of us was employed. We were selling crack. Yeah. That's what we were doing. Man, we used to go to Shorty's house and just sit in there and just bag up.
Dog, I remember we bagged up some shit of crack. I don't remember how much it
with
was.
No
we
scales.
Some shit, no scales. It was all dubs.
And just
everyone, we did it on purpose like that. We had the scales. We wanted to see how many we can bag up on the money. I don't think there was one.
There wasn't any of those.
We had every one of them shits was on point.
Down from that to the half grams and grams.
Yeah, we was tripping.
Like I tell
bleeding and shit.
I tell people, and people are like, man, I'm not trying to hear that. White dudes didn't sling rocks. White dudes didn't do this. I said, man, at the time we sold whatever was in. I had a question to ask you though. You mentioned that you got locked up for distribution of heroin, right? Yeah. In the midst of all that, we lost a lot of friends, man. When I mean a lot of friends, I could go down a list that of mutual friends we have here in Virginia and in Philly. How does that make you feel looking back on it to know that you were selling the same stuff that ultimately killed our friends,
It
man?
makes me feel like exactly how I should. I was selling poison to my people. And what's sad about it is I knew it. And I'm gonna say it like this. Like what I mean by I knew it was when I started selling heroin, I was selling Roxy 30s at the time. And I had a connect out here, dude, that well, nobody in the Richmond, Chesterfield area had as many 30s as me except the person I was getting them off of. My dude had a dude who had a doctor. Simple as that. We don't get and I can get them joints by a boatload. So
So
everybody
it was
waiting
just
on
through the whole
scripts.
pill mill at the time.
Yeah, like people was waiting on scripts all the time. I got them shits on deck. I can sell them more expensive because I got them on deck all day,
There's no
every
wait.
day. You never gotta wait. You know what I'm saying? So just on the strength of that, you know what I mean? I had him and I caught a little dope boy habit with him, sniffing the pills, strip club scenes, all that, you know what I mean? So then at one point when I was grinding, it was like all of a sudden I seen the wave happen. I remember from prison before I came home, I heard about it on the phone, the Roxy 30s epidemic. And then it was like in Philly, in Richmond, it didn't matter. Everywhere I talked to, everybody was hooked on these joints. And I come home, did the same thing. And then at one point, everybody kept asking me, man, you should sell some dope. You should get some dope. Go get some food. I'm like, man, I'm not trying to mess with that shit, y'all. Same thing when I started selling crack. I was selling coke, and people wanted me to sell them crack. I ain't want to sell them crack. They kept on bugging about it.
Well, you know what that was though, because I remember I started the same way, like pretty much here. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I sold crack way before I ever sold coke, and then I got more into the selling coke because we fell into that scene of the coke. You know what I mean? But I would sell it to people, and then they would go try to cook it up themselves and either mess it up or it wouldn't be right. So then they're like, man, just give it to me like this.
And you know what really got me with the crack and the dope? Because they always hit you with this shit. Well, if you ain't gonna sell it to me, I'm just gonna go get it off somebody else.
True, I've heard it.
So I mean, in all honesty, it's the truth. But at the same time, it's like that's like me saying, man, oh, it don't make no difference if I throw trash out my car window every day. My little shit ain't gonna make a difference. No, me and 10 other people, and then 10 other more people keep throwing trash out the window every day. It's gonna look like shit. So I made myself part of the problem because it was a problem. But the thing was, I wasn't really educated on what was happening. Like when I say I knew what I was doing, I didn't know what I was doing to the extent of what I was doing. I knew it was wrong. Like, damn, man, you doing it, but I didn't know like the extent of the trickery of how these pill mills and how them Purdue companies was really mass producing this stuff knowingly, knowing what they was poisoning communities. Like, man, it was terrible. Like when I seen this shit, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I cried watching this movie, and it's not even that type of movie, but I cried knowing that I was sitting there watching this going, wow, like, dude, you were a big part of this. And I just started playing the families I've ruined, everything. Like it really did something to me, and I didn't want to be part of that no more. Like even so, when I was messing up in prison, bro, like I had a rule: I didn't mess with the dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't sell the dope. Like I've done other things, but I felt like that would make everything in vain. But you know, but yeah, man, when I come home this time, dog, like getting all that out of my system, it was more like for me. Like I said, I had that support. I had a person to help me out. Shout out to Haley, man. Regardless of everything, girl really helped me out with a lot of stuff, dog. Like, and really enabled me to have some peace, man, and some.
So you didn't have to come home and go straight into scramble mode.
Yes, I didn't have to go at it and think, man, I gotta do this, gotta do that. You know what I mean? Like to get my shit together, and I think it's so essential, bro, because. Now,
so you're saying just coming home and having some type of support?
Yes, very essential. And time to think, I think is where we go wrong. We want to come home and get at it so fast, right? So I had an idea before I came home, and we was gonna go off for like 30 days somewhere, like get like a cabin in the woods or something, and just
all those plans you made prior to getting out.
Yeah, and like get my thoughts together. It just happened to happen that way in its own way. It didn't work out that way. However, where I'm staying at also has, you know, an area where it's kind of like, you know, I'm like an area where it's right at the city, but it has a country feel to it, like last house in that area. So it's wooded, it's got a creek, all that. So like nature, bro, like that might sound crazy, but like nature did something, bro. And it also made me think of how inner cities get so chaotic. And it's like, damn, we surrounded by concrete buildings all day, all this, blah, 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 blah. I never had nature. So nature is like amazing to me, bro. I see a damn pigeon flying by sometimes. I'm playing that pigeon, but you know, like a bird or deer or something. I'm like, wow, like where sometimes like, oh, deer. To me, that is like, you know, it's amazing. Like, and it just did something having that peace, bro, the clarity to be able to step back away from life and really learn who the hell are you? Who are you now as a free man? I haven't been a free man since at that time. It was damn near a decade since I was a free man. Not only that, I wasn't a free man sober. Not only that, I wasn't a free man single and sober. So when I was free, the last time before that, I was always on some type of drug, drinking, in a relationship. You know, I had kids at 18 years old. You remember, man, like, you know, I had my shit together young. Like, I was like one of the first ones out there with cars and houses. You know, we was doing that shit young, bro. Like,
right, before anybody.
So, like, I didn't really have that time to really, you know, I was trying to be a man so fast, and bro, like, it was like, man, and I'm a type, I put a lot on my plate. You know what I mean? Right. I bite off more I can chew, and that's also something that hurt me last time. Trying to move so fast, I did it trying to make up for lost time. That don't work. So this time, you know, that peace I had, man, it really got me. And I also had took a little trip, man, and I went out of state, man, and you know, I had some experiences out there, bro. Like, you know, I'll get into that later on down the line, but it led me to God, bro, and God really changed my life, bro. Like, God came in, and I knew when someone like me, the effect, the change, it was so dramatic when I decided to really believe and really say, all right, man, you got it. I'm done. Like, I can't do this on my own no more. It changed something, bro, like a light switch. And, you know, I've been, since then, man, I just been trying to share that, man, all the way around the board, like, and not just that side of it, the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, because it took all that to get there. It took all that to get where I was at. All them things that seemed bad, all them things that I thought were the things in life that were the bad things in life, man. The good thing about God on it is it made it all that made sense in an instant. I was armed up. I've been getting armed up my whole life for right now where I'm at, man. So, you know.
Let's talk a little bit on your TikTok. You got, I think it's on your TikTok. You got some videos. For y'all don't know, he goes back out. You go back out into like areas where people are bad. There's a lot of homeless people. You do haircuts, you do giveaways where you make sure people have hygiene and the things they need. Why? I mean, I understand why, but tell everybody else why do you do that?
All right. So when that came about, I'm gonna get you straight real, exactly how it came about. When I say God came into my life, man, something happened. In that moment, it just made me think completely different. Like, everything, I looked at everything different. My whole perspective changed and my perception changed. And it just made me think, man, times I was alone in different ways. And then looking at people like me, that having that peace, that time to myself, where I said I was taken away from society. Like, when I came home, also with that 30 days at the end, it like did something to me, man. It allowed me to look at everything from the outside while everybody else, you got to work it. They got to do this every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking like, damn, what happened out here? Everybody looked like zombies.
Well, also you left neighbor corners that were just regular corners. You come home and there's now people holding signs.
Yeah, it's crazy. And people you would never think of, like certain people have felt uncomfortable looking at them. I would look at them and they would look so terrible. I would be like, yo. So, like, you know, and like one particular person, man, I shed a tear on that joint, bro. Like, I had to go in my bathroom. Like, oh, I couldn't believe what I was looking at, because dude is like 12 years younger than me and looks 20 years older than me. And I was like, damn, bro, like, what in the world happened, man? Homeless, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn. So it was right up under me too. Like, it's two people that stay right in my yard. You know what I'm saying? Like, dead ass. So like
you have two people living in your yard now.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you rather them be there. They're living in a tent.
Come in and eat and shit, you know what I mean? And things like that. We get cold, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and so one day I was like, man, I ain't really had shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I'm just getting home still, trying to like figure out how to get everything done still. So I was like, man, but I wanted to do something and it was always wanting to do it and not doing it, the procrastination. So I'm like, man, what can I do with what I got with where I'm at right now? I can cut hair, or I can tattoo, I can do all these things. I said, you know what, man, I'm sure there's plenty of dudes out there that need a haircut right now. Might help them out, man. Let me see if I can talk to them, see if they even consider getting a job, going into a spot, man. Just hear what got them there, blah, 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 blah. So I went out there, man, with a pair of clippers, you know, some edge. I had a little kit, you know what I mean? I wanted to go $5 and a little clipper set, man. And I caught a couple dudes out there. Like I only did one haircut on the video because I just want to put awareness to it. But did a haircut on the video and then just walk around, show people the area, blah, blah. I gave dude $250 out of it when I was done, gave somebody else the other $250. And it just was like, I wanted to do something. And also for the guys like me, it gets so stereotyped, man, because of how we look, our past, what our paperwork say. We ain't all messed up people, man. And I'm doing bad things. And I wanted to shed light on that area of it, to show that, and also shed light on how easy it is for little old me to carry my ass out there and do that. So just because I had the time to pay attention to it,
you know what a lot of people think help only exists if you have money to give people.
Exactly.
Like you can't help nobody unless you're giving them money or you're paying for this or that. So what you're saying is you knew you didn't have no money to give nobody, but you knew that you could still help.
Yeah, I could do something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could do something. And actually how I got there is I got dropped off far as I can go in the rough spot and just walked my ass I walked all the way home that day. I never even got a ride back.
That's a long ass walk.
I walked home from the 1408. I think it's 1408 apartments down there on JD.
Yeah.
I got dropped off there. You know where I live. So I got dropped off there and walked my ass back. And when I seen the need, I tried to fill it. You know what I'm saying? And after I did it, I was actually talking to a friend of mine that I had met through TikTok, man. Pretty amazing woman, man. She go by Warrior Mama. I haven't spoke to her in a minute, man. Just been going through some things. But she's dope, man. And we was talking, you know, we had the idea because I didn't want to ask people for money to help or nothing like that. She's like, well, maybe you should just items. So I just got up there the next day, like, look, this is what I just did. I want to help these people some. And so people have items, If y'all want to help out, donate, y'all want to come out and help, cool. You know what I mean? Let's get it. And people, you know what I mean, came through, you know what I mean? And some people came with some stuff. I had a couple of friends come over with some stuff, packaged it up, went back out there again, you know, did it a couple more times. I take home people's numbers. You know what I'm saying? So the ones that I feel like, you know, like really going through it and have like some type of organized thing going around in the area. If it's a bunch of them, I'll link up with their numbers so I can, man, what y'all need over there, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of did it like that. And it's been kind of hard for me to pass month to really go out there, but I'll be doing something this weekend because it's just been a lot. I've been going through big change, like from coming home to coming back out to like getting around, saying things like, you know, God gonna take you where you've been so you can see where you at. And that's something I learned. So I was kind of like coming out, you know, strip clubs, doing little things. I'm on getting back to my old ways, but you know, like the stuff I considered fun. And I was doing everything by myself. I went out of state with my homeboy, but by myself, because everything I did by myself out there. Me and my daughter went out there to Indiana, all these little spots, man. I really didn't have a time to really think about what I wanted to do yet, other than like a regular job, you know what I'm saying? So I've kind of been MIA for the past maybe 3 weeks, still been posting little stuff, and I ain't really been at it like I was, but I had to kind of like regroup, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I had to regroup, man.
Somebody said they want to hear more about your younger years, man. When was the first time you remember? I know you remember because we all do. When was the first time? How old were you the first time you got locked up, and what led you getting locked up?
I got locked up when I was 12 years old the first time. I got locked up for stealing somebody's bike.
For stealing a bike?
Yeah, I bike jacked him. I didn't steal it out of his yard. I bike jacked him.
So you ran up on him.
Yeah.
And once again, there's no glorification, man. I don't want y'all to think like the shit's not cool. Violence ain't cool. Taking things that don't belong. You committing crimes, selling drugs. None of that shit's cool. It's part of letting you get to know who somebody was, so you can better understand who they become.
Facts. I like it to be more or less like, look, man, this where you come from, this where you at.
To
You
know
what
where
I
you're
mean?
going, you got
Because-
to know where you've been, man.
Yeah, absolutely, Max. You know, I was talking with bro prior to this. I don't like glorifying my bad side, y'all. But I do understand that it got to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? I'm an open book. I just want that part to be understood. So, yeah, man, when I was younger, man, like I was wild, man. You know,
So let me
we used to
tell me
jack
about that
folks
day.
out there.
Tell me about that day with the
So
bike.
I was with my homeboy Nicky, man, and he lived over there off of 70th and Woodland Ave. And
Woodland gets treacherous.
yeah, man, they get it in over there. It was right next to the Getty gas station right there. And dude was riding by on a bike and he had one pedal too. I don't even know why I wanted to steal the bike. But the giant had one pedal, man.
Badass kid,
It
man.
was a dope ass dyno. I like dynos and GTs, all that, man. And yeah, man, I ran up on him like, man, what's up? Let me Papa Willie, man. Let me ride that jank real quick, you know, da 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 da. He ain't want to let me ride it. So I felt like he was acting like a little bitch at the time, you know what I mean? And then I just went in the other mode, like, no, man, like, man, get off the bike, man. Like, this my bike. You know what I mean? He was like, nah, I ain't got my bike. Man. I was so young. I don't know how I was talking like this. I was like, man, we're gonna do this shit the hard way, the easy way,
You've
man.
been like that
I'm
since I met
leaving
you.
with this
I
bike.
met you at like 15. You was like 15 when I met you, and you was in that mode. So did they arrest you on the scene, or they came to the house?
No, they came to the house. I took the bike, man. I'm pedaling this joint with one pedal. Try to do that. You'll understand that shit feels
From
retarded.
70s in Woodland
To my
over
house over
68.
68th and Dix Avenue. And I'm pedaling this jank to the house like this and shit. My homeboy got a bike. I think that's why I wanted to steal his bike. He had a bike. I was on his handlebar. Yeah, I wanted my bike. And all I had to do was put a pedal on it. So I took the jank to the house. And I had binged him all up. He didn't want to give me the bike. So I beat the shit out of him over there and took the bike. And my homeboy didn't do nothing. He didn't have to. He just stood there while I beat him up, took the bike. And rode that joint to the house, man. Next thing you know, the cops calling my dad's phone somehow. He was talking about what you did, da da da. Where'd you get this bike? I said, man, I bought that bike. You see, you ain't buying nothing. Police just called me. What the hell you did now? I'm like, oh man. Shit, I thought I was slick. This is how retarded I was. I thought I was slick. I said, Dad, I'm telling you it's my bike. I had this bike before. And I'm thinking about lying to my dad and the police. So
trying to convince them it's your bike you've had for a long time.
Yes.
12-year-old mentality.
I think I'm some type of genius. So I was like, if I roll up a picture and stick it in the seat of the bike, put the seat back on,
you can pull the picture
like,
out.
look, it was my bike. So it was like, you know, the police come over there and shit. He's like, why'd you take his bike? I said, I ain't take no bike. I took my bike back. He had my bike.
Try to flip the script.
I said, look, I got a picture of myself. I bet you it's a picture in the seat. It was like gave me the look like, this is not your bike. And I was adamant that this was my bike. You know what I'm saying? All the way to the end. So they was like, yeah, we're going to have to take you in. It took me in and locked me up. And where was I at? I was at 65th Street, man. 65th and Elmwood right there. And I can't even remember the district of that joint. I lived there my whole life. I want to say 9th, maybe. I don't know. But it's 65th and Woodland Avenue, man. And took me up there, man. 12 years old, sitting there like, man, what in the world? And after that shit is a trap. After that,
it desensitizes you.
All it took was that one time, bro. And it was like, I was always the guy. After that day, it didn't matter, man. I was always the guy, man. I'm talking about, I'm traumatized right now from like getting back locked up for this reason. Like, I'll give you a young jank. So another time I get locked up, and this jank was me, Jimmy Paul, JJ, Shawnee. We got to reckon with this dude, Mike something. I can't remember his name right now. White dude, chill with a lot of black dudes. And we get to reckon with dude in slump. I'm talking about slump.
How old
they
were
had
you?
bats, man. We was probably about 13, maybe right when I was turning 13, maybe 14, maybe. We were still young. No, right at, 13, 14, exactly where we was at. I remember now because who I was with. All right. So I'm about 14. And we go up there, man. We get to beefing with like some street corner shit, man. It was just all out chaos. We all reckon, but they got weapons and shit, bats and all types of crazy shit. But we end up with this shit.
Y'all ended up taking the weapons from him.
JJ was some problem with JJ. JJ got the record with dude. Dude was way bigger than JJ. I was ready to bank him with him. But JJ got hands. He's a skinny cat, but he got some hands with him. Like, he surprised the shit out of me. I thought dude was going to do him in. JJ was binging his ass. Bum, bum, bum. I mean, we getting crazy on him. And, next thing you know, that joint just got crazy. And it was a bat somehow. One of them had a bat. And Jimmy Paul ended up.
Rest in peace to Jimmy Paul.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, man. He ended up getting the bat, man. And he started. I was rocking dude.
He was nutted up too. Like he didn't care about hurting somebody really bad.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Give him a bat like it's bad. He's playing baseball.
Dude was real live a demon, man. I just was straddled dude down on the ground, like his legs is out this way, and I'm beating him and it's pum pum. Jimmy Paul hitting him with the bat. Long story, man. Police come, we scatter. Me and Lil Shawnee get locked up. The only two out of there that get locked up for that. So we end up getting locked up. Dude come in the court, I swear by God, in a whole body cast. Like he was broke up everywhere. This is no lie.
Y'all were 13, man.
He himself would tell you. If I think of his last name, you know what I mean, Mike something. But yeah, dude had a body cast. He was 13, 14 years old. Coming to court, I'm talking about the whole nine, the little joint that pushes off the cast from the arm and everything. Hold you up. Stick, yeah, like you couldn't even. Yeah, it was crazy. So after that, I get out. This is no lie.
Did they book you or did they take you to Juve? They took you to Youth Study Center.
Yeah, I was in the Youth Study Center. Went to 55th and Pine, then to the Youth Study Center. Man. Yeah, 55th and Pine. Put your ass in an ice box. You ain't gonna get nothing but a cheese sandwich.
I was telling people how I told people how last time I was talking about how dirty the toilet was.
Oh man,
it's got barnacles in it,
man. It's terrible.
And there's so much waste in it. There's no water. It's just filled to the top and it's solid.
And they keep you in your clothes in the district. So, bro, and it's so cold. Remember the ice box?
Yeah.
Bro, look, you got the ice box and you got the giant, the hot box. The ice box so cold. You know the brown paper towel rolls they be having. I was asking for paper towels. I'm wrapping myself up in these paper towels. The bench is this big. Like the joint's this big, so you can't even lay on it. Your feet is sitting up in the air.
Shit of people packed in there.
They take all your shit, no shoelaces, no nothing. Remember, I was snapping on the windows one time when we was in there, bugging out in that bitch. But man, look, I was out for 5 hours. 5 hours. Now I'm young, but I already got some tattoos for my age as a young boy. I kind of had probably maybe like 10 tattoos.
Y'all had the shop right up the street.
Yeah.
When I came there, we went up the block. I'll never forget. Where was it off Elmwood?
Yeah, it was off
Elmwood, right?
Elmwood.
They had the shop right there. We went in there and there was tattooing a cat at the time that was like 13, 14 years old.
That's the one I sold the vest to. That's where I got a lot of my tattoos from.
You're right. We went up there when we first got there after the whole thing jumped off the 8-ball court.
Joe, I sold his ass a vest. He was like, man, let me check it real quick. Let me see if it works. He put that joint on a smoke on him. Boom! And blasted his ass in the chest right out front of the joint. I was like, what the fuck? Dude was like, ah!
Yeah,
he was like, oh, it works.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Wow. I just traded it for some tattoos.
Yeah, got a big ass tear in it now. Yeah. I'll take it.
He took that.
True story, man.
I think he just bought it just to do that right there. He just gave me some dumbass free tattoos.
Why do I feel like he put it on? I think he put it on a smoker.
It was
a smoker that was out there one day. Come here, put this on, and shot him with the vest.
Crazy. Yeah.
I remember that shit was crazy.
But yeah, man. So after that, man, like I was only out for 5 hours. I'm walking on the street. I see all the old heads sitting in Finnegan Park drinking. They got cases out there. I'm drinking a dumbass 40 at St. Ides. You know, this the 90s and shit. And man, they got bike cops in Philly. So you got the bike cops. They roll up. My house is right there across the street. I live on a corner house. I'm like, man, what the fuck? Everybody scatter. I start walking away.
I was there that night.
No, not this. This is the one for the 5 hours. You
know, okay. I said we had the same thing happen. We was on the stoop drinking the 40.
Oh yeah, that's a whole that's the one when I ran. And you talking about that one? That's
another. I'll make an example out of you.
That was a whole nother one.
Dipped on them.
That's why I'm traumatized. So you know what I'm saying? You thought that I know the exact one. We was on our knees like this, and I jumped up and took off. I remember that one. But this time I'm like, man. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to go home. I live right there. Please just let me go home. I'm like, man, come here. I told you stop moving. I'm like, man, come on, bro. I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I live right there. and something snapped my, he tried to grab my arm. I slapped his hand and took off, but I got Tim's on, you know what I'm saying? But this time I got a real rollie at the time. I got a Submariner rollie on my wrist. I got a dope ass chain.
You was always jewelry up, man. From
Man,
the time I met you.
what I was, man, for a young boy, I was laced up. You know what I'm saying? That's when I did that off selling weed back then. That was when I had the weed connects, but we were doing big numbers on the weed. But man, I took off running. I don't know what I'm doing. My house, we're gonna run into my house. You know what I'm saying? Just young,
let him right to your
dumb
house.
Shit. I didn't even get there. I ran. He just jumped at me, rah, and grabbed my leg like as if somebody runs at you and they just catch you and grab on your leg. And when he grabbed my leg, I'm going, what the fuck? Oh, when I was running, one of my Timbs fell off. I looked back and was like, oh fuck. And after that, I'm running, dog. That junk was just like, you know what I'm saying? The limp, he caught me, jumped on my leg. I just turned around, trying to get him off me. I can't get him off me. I just started hitting him. Boom, boom. And then Shawnee was out there.
This is a cop.
Shawnee Buchanan was out there with me. He was the other one in handcuffs. Yeah. So this was a cop. I'm hitting on the ground. So Shawnee was like, yo, B, what the fuck you doing? You know what I'm saying? They call me B in Philly. So I was like, you know, he called me. When he did it, the other cop had him in handcuffs. So I was like, fuck. So I still wasn't really paying attention, man. Black that I just remember him saying that. Next thing you know, the other cop come over there, just grip me up. Got my hands like this, trying to pull my hands back, but I'm resisting. Other cop get up, man. Grip my ass up, throw me up against the fence. Rack my face up. I'm talking about slam me on the ground, stomp me out. I'm talking about they stomped me out so bad, bro. Broke my rollie up. My man Spike rolled by at the time. Rest in peace, Spike, man. Spike rolled by at the time. And he's like, yo, man, get off my young boy, man. What the fuck y'all doing? Da 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 da. I'm calling him, I'm gonna record this shit. I don't even know what he was talking about because we didn't have phones like that back then to record. I don't know what he was trying to act like he was gonna do. But I was like, man, Spike, go get my pops. You go get my dad, man. By the time my dad came out, man, there's no cap. I was laid on the ground, handcuffs, butt naked.
They beat
I'm talking about beat me. I had no shirt on already. So somehow in the dragging me, my pants had come down. Dude, it's a whole field of motherfuckers out here. They lift me up. I'm in handcuffs looking like DMX on the cover.
Flesh of my flesh.
Yeah, flesh of my flesh. I'm on the cover of that jank like. My pop looking at me like, what the fuck? 5 hours, man. It ain't been 5 hours. I was like, Pop, man, man, they was beating on me, blah, 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 trying to play victim, you know what I mean? I started this shit, you know what I mean? But my pop's like, man, what the fuck? I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, can I put my clothes on? Like, my dad's like, Dad, can I pull my son's pants up? So they let him pull my pants up real quick, man. Next thing you know, I'm just standing there. They like, man, you got to, we're gonna lock your son up. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm going, Shawnee's looking at me in handcuffs, like, bro, what the fuck?
It wasn't that serious.
Yeah, like, what is you doing? And as I was leaving, it was this dude laughing, like, look at you, stupid motherfucker. I spit a whole mouth of blood in his face. He was laughing. I got beat up by the cops. I ain't understand that, but yeah, that was I've been out for 5 hours, bro. So that was like, and that was just at a young age, dude. You know what I mean? So like, that was probably the fastest span of time. You talking about going in and out of jail? It was like boom, boom, right back. I didn't even finish my day. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't even finished my day, and here I am back locked up, back in the youth study center. Like
looking at the same dude you had just left,
bro. Man,
how was the youth study center? For people that don't know, like the youth study center is the detention center out in Philly, right? That's where the juveniles out that area go. How was the detention center in Philly, man?
Man, that shit's like prison. The wrecking is insane.
Fight all day, every day.
And anybody that know, man, like when you get to prison, you start dealing with weapon play and shit. You know what I mean? That's at a more all-time high. But the wrecking, them hands, juvenile is where that shit go down the most. Juvenile prisons, juvenile facilities, get it the fuck in, man. I mean, you on your punishment, you go on time out for a couple hours, come right back out and get it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't wreck cellies overnight.
And the punishment be they just lock you in a cell.
Yeah.
They just lock you in a cell for a few hours, let you back out. You were the same dude that just fought, still pissed off and just fight again. Or you get into it with somebody else.
Absolutely. That shit was
So we fast forward from the teenage years. We catch our case in 99. At the time, I was 19. I believe you were 16, right?
Yeah.
We get, both of us get locked up. You got sent to the Youth Study Center. I got sent away to CFCF. We fast forward later that year. I remember I came home, and the day I came home, you was working at a little deli around the corner.
Yeah.
Remember, you was looking at the little place that made the sandwiches. And I remember I came in the house, and your dad snapped on me. Remember, I told your pops, like, look, he's doing good. He's got a job. You ain't gonna be getting him in trouble. If you're gonna be here, you're gonna act right. And I just bounced.
Yeah.
I left Philly. A couple days later, my mom came and picked me up. I came back to Virginia. Then we go forward again. We caught a robbery on that case. That didn't go on your adult record. You were a juvenile. I was an adult. So it went on my adult record. We fast forward to the next one. We're like 5 years down the road. So we catch a new one. We both get sent away. You spoke of Sussex 1 this time, right?
Yeah.
Which is, for people that, like I've told y'all, Sussex is a max out here. It's a crazy penitentiary. It's almost, if you can get a fight out there, you did good. They pretty much got almost a no hands policy. Everybody out there is trying to push a blade. For me, I know there was a defining moment in my bid. When people ask me what happened with me, I got tired. That's what happened. I woke up one day and I was really, really tired of living that life. I was tired of the bars. I was tired of the fights. I was tired of the violence. I was tired of being told what I could and couldn't do. I was tired of waiting in line for the shower, waiting in line for the microwave, waiting for the phone. I got tired. Do you think that Sussex 1 and the violence that took place and everything you've seen there had any play or any part in your transformation?
Absolutely. Like I said, like I turned up so much in this bid. Like it was just, I started off at such a low level prison. And here I am in Sussex 1. Think about it. You get down to your last 6 months. You know, I did a couple years there. So you get down to your last 6 months, even a couple years is super short time for Sussex 1. So your last couple years, dude, I mean, your last couple months, you're like,
you're just trying to fly below the radar, stay out the way, not get caught up in nothing.
I always carry it like I ain't gonna walk on eggshells. I'm not worried about catching no charge. I literally had a policy like I didn't like to catch dumb charges so that I can save the times where I know I'm gonna get charges for wrecking. So it was like I'd rather just have my wrecking charge and then instead of having all these extra ones with it, like I knew they was gonna come, so I'd just chalk them in like a lost cause. So when it got to that time, and then it was like, all right, that wrecking shit then got to an all-time low because the blade play up there was nuts. They were making swords out that joint, out the bunks, dog. Like straight up, they'll get somebody who want to get high, get the piece of something, and we ain't gonna tell all the business out here. But man, look, cut the bunks. I'm talking about you been locked up.
This is angle iron steel, 1-inch angle iron.
Man, you talking swords like this thick, like long joints. I'm talking about the blade look like a fan blade coming down. Some of them joints, big pointy joints, little solid, big, like these shits gonna kill you off rip.
Now we're doing time. I think we've all seen a lot of crazy shit. What would you say was the worst thing you've seen up Sussex 1 this go around? And I know it's a lot.
I have to say the two that stood out. So one joint, dude got stabbed up real bad, bro. So he gets stabbed up downstairs, right? Mind you, as soon as I walked in, I got the Sussex 2 first, which they was both the same. It used to be a level 4. When I got there, they were both level 5s now, just twin buildings, you know what I'm saying? So when I got up in that joint, literally my first 5 minutes, I just came out the hole when I got there because I snapped out at the other prison I was at. So you sit in the hole till you get transferred where you at. So by the time I got there, you know, it was like a family reunion. I walk in that joint, Philly. I'm like, shit, all right, this what's up. Man, I didn't even make it to myself with my bags. Dude was getting hit on the top tier, Latin King Cat.
They were stabbing.
Crips was stabbing his ass up. I'm talking about getting it to him.
You just walked in.
I just walked in the pod on the facility. I ain't been on the facility, you know, outside of doing your medical, all the shit you do before you get to an actual pod.
Coming in, right.
I literally, this happened less than 5 minutes. I got a pod, literally, Philly, yo, done, lockdown. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? This giant turned back on lock the whole time. Now I don't got nothing because you don't get shit with your stuff.
I told him that your property follows you. They mail your property. So you have to go several weeks unless you got somebody like, I knew people. So people were like, here you go, looked out for me, made sure I had cosmetics and food. That kind of comes with doing time and have known people from the past. So you go on lockdown, you ain't got nothing.
And you don't even get a
And
chance
you got
to
no
holler
way.
at nobody
You
yet.
ain't got no way to go to nobody to get
Immediately
nothing.
on lockdown.
So you got to hope
Straight
you got a
month.
cool celly.
Yeah, I
So-
had no celly for like the first 3 weeks. No, I was in that bitch making fake people with chow time. I was so hungry, I would make up the whole bunk. They'd be like, hey, I'd be like, he's good, man. Billy Ball asleep, man.
Just making an imaginary
I
friend.
would smoke the COs with the
Oh,
fake
getting
dude in
two
the
trays,
bunk.
the
Yeah,
dummy.
get 2 trays every time. You know what I'm saying?
Put a dummy in the bed.
Had a whole dummy in that bitch. I'd talk to Billy Bob just for fun, playing around. You know what I mean? He'd be laid in the bed. I ain't even lying, man. I'll be so burnt out in there. When they be walking by, I'll still be talking to the dude in the bunk like he's in there for real, having a conversation, thinking I'm, bored anyway. So I'll just make a joke out of it. But yeah, man, that junk was turned. So anyway, so one day, this was in Sussex too. Man, dude come up. I seen him. It's a white dude, some Crip white dude. Walk up and I guess you can call it like a Sally Port. So it's the entrance. So you in the pod, and then before you go out in the hallway, you got a little section.
You got a cage.
It's closed in.
Yeah.
But it's plexiglass. It's like a plexiglass cage kind of area, small little area. So dude is in there, and for some reason I'm walking laps. I normally don't even frequent this area, but this particular day I'm literally right in front of the door walking past, and I see and I'm like, I stopped for a second, and dude had that energy, and the white dude just fired off on the one dude. It was 2 black dudes, 2 blood cats. I ain't fired off on him. Boom! Hit him. As soon as he hit him, chaos. 2 black dudes start going in on him. The whole time, I'm thinking they banking him till I start seeing that lifeblood come out his ass. That lifeblood look different. You get cut, that's blood. Lifeblood is that shit dripping up out your ass at a rate and a color that that shit's bad. I'm talking about
thick shit is coming out.
This shit started puddling up, and I mean, this shit's right in both officers sitting right there looking at this shit like he calling him, but I mean, he can't even get to him till he get out and get to it. But this what makes that jank crazy, and I mean, they was giving it to him. This what makes this crazy. What had happened was they stabbed his ass up downstairs. The Crips, his own, stabbed his ass up. He was like, man,
his own homeboy stabbed him up.
It's like, man, you need to carry your ass upstairs and say the Bloods did that shit or something. You get the fuck out of here. So he came up there and started that shit just to make it look like it came out my paw, but then got hit again. So he got hit again. He was already just wrapped up from the first one, just won't that bad, I guess. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He was already hit up from downstairs.
He goes upstairs and starts a fight with 2 dudes that got nothing, no beef with him or nothing. He just sparks off on one of them, and they start stabbing. So he just came from getting stabbed downstairs, goes upstairs to try to make it look like another gang did it, start to fight with this gang, and then that gang starts stabbing.
Yes.
So in a matter of minutes, he was stabbed up by his gang and
another one, and no one knew this up there at the time. We was like confused on what was going on, and that shit was kind of just the way that played out. I thought that junk was wild. And I'm gonna tell you another junk that was crazy, man. This was another Crip dude, white dude walking the pod, and this time it was like dudes who weren't respecting him being a Crip, a white Crip, I guess. And man, they got the beef, and man, dude held his own. No, I mean, he won't no bitch. Like he tried his hand. Black dude fired off in his ass. Boom. Dude wrecked for a minute, but then it was a swarm on his ass, man. He beat that man so bad.
So he said it started off him and one dude fighting. The Crip dude and the Blood dude get to fighting, right?
No, it's 2 Crips.
Oh, it's 2 Crips. They get to fighting.
Yeah, because the black Crip didn't respect the white dude as being a Crip.
That's common.
And you know what I mean? But the white dude, he was carrying it. Like he carried it, you know what I'm saying? He just had no chance.
And in the fight, he was holding his own, but it was never designed for him to win. It was
too many, bro. They beat the man so bad, bro. He was brain dead. He went brain dead. So they hit his ass. They hit him in the cell for like a week. Like straight.
He's in there just gone.
Man, gone. Like I don't even know if dude dead or alive now. Dead ass. I do not know. I don't never found out what happened to him. I know that when that man was in that cell, I seen him like the 3rd day. That shit looked treacherous. I didn't want to be near him because I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? Cameras and shit. I didn't want to go in the cell, no none of that. But like, yeah, dude was done. Like that shit looked like he was not gonna make it. He was done. Like they hit him in the cell for 7 days. But that place is treacherous, man. They don't treat. It was the worst treatment of inmates, which we locked up, man. Like prison's prison, man. Ain't nothing supposed to be nice. Ain't no hotel, but like your basic needs, bro. They're giving you like your water's contaminated. Like literally, you can look up Sussex 1 drinking water.
Yeah, I've seen brown
It
water come
say,
out. You can't drink it.
You cannot drink the water. The food is the worst. They do nothing on time. You're sitting there forever. You locked down like an animal all day. So they breed this in you. Like I had breakthroughs in prison, like the ones that I had since I came home. But I thought they weren't nothing because it was such a, I'm gonna say, a demonic atmosphere that I couldn't even like peep that I was really being worked on by God at the time because it was so thick. Like every time I would start to climb back up, it was like that energy was just thick in there, man, because it's gangland for one, and it's Sussex 1. Like Sussex 1, like it's already got a name. So you gonna carry it a certain way, you know what I mean? And like, I'm blessed to even made it out there. You know what I mean? Because I ain't never necessarily have a lot of problems.
But I talked to you.
I carried them.
I talked to you, and there was times I talked to you. You was like, "Bro, I just want you to know I love you, man."
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I asked you, I was like, "What's that about?" You said, "Look, I don't know if I'm gonna come home, man." You said, "I don't know if somebody's gonna take me out." You said, "But for real, I feel like to protect myself, I might have to do something really bad to somebody in here, Jay." And I'm just trying to. I remember that conversation. You said, I just hope I see you again, and I hope I make it home, man."
Bro, that's word. I swear, I did not think. There was times, man, like, so when I was in the hole, bro, this is no lie. When I was in the hole, so I had the 30 days left. Now, mind you, when I had caught them charges, it was trying to take 6 months. That was my penalty offer, by the way. I got that journey at the house to show it to you. My penalty offer, which is the best possible scenario, this is the thing they want me to just take without fighting the charge, was 6 months loss of good time for the one and 6 months loss of good time for the other. When I got 30 days left.
You got 30 days, and now they're trying to hit you with 2 charges that are going to keep you in prison another year.
Another year. So I'm going, yo, they got to be tripping. Like, there's no way. So, like, to me, in hindsight, looking at that, like I was in there and I was just like, man, and I didn't know my fate to the last 4 days, but I was hoping for that because I wanted to keep getting pushed back, so that if it went through, it might not have enough time and I'd be out the door, but that would still be a very.
Well, they gotta send whatever your penalty is
to Richmond,
to like the main headquarters of DOC.
Facts.
That stuff takes time to get processed.
Yeah.
So you're trying to push it back so that you get closer home, so that no matter what they do before they can process it, you leave.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
Right.
Facts. So, I didn't know my last 4 days, man. But when I was back there, man, look, like the feeling was like, if I do this, if I get another year, I'm not coming home.
The shit, there's too much going on at this point.
Yes, my mind was just at a point I couldn't take it no more. I was done. My mind was already made up. Like, like when I'm like, if I'm about to wreck somebody, my mind's made up, my mind's made up. You know what I'm saying? So like with that, my mind was made up. I was ready to go home. So like now, after so many times of you supposed to go home, you ain't going home. You're supposed to go home. This release date passed. This release date passed. This release date passed. I was like, man. Boy, I ain't gonna lie. I lay there one night, bro. I just prayed, just like, God, man, please, boy. I know you got something meant for me. I was like, please, just don't let it be in here, man. Please don't let it be in here. I'm begging you with everything I got in me. I just want to be a free man. I would, the gifts you gave me, I will make sure to put them to use. Please don't let it be in here. I'm not gonna make it out. I was like, man, however, if this is what you want, I'll do it, and I'll do it with gratitude at that. And I meant it. I really meant it because I surrendered myself right then, dude. And it was like something changed. But I went into the hearing, and I'm gonna tell you, man, it was so crazy. The CO was like, so I walked, he's like, I got you, you're good.
The guard
just
told
listen
you that.
to me. The guard told me that. I walked in there because I was talking prior, like, bro, you see this shit's trumped up, man. I'm about to go home by this time.
Did you have history with this guard?
No.
So it's just a random guard that sees the situation as wanting to help.
And I'm like, bro, I'm about to go home this week, bro. Like, look at this shit, man. You see these charges, bro. You know this shit crazy. Even investigators look at it like, bro, I ain't never seen nobody write no penalty offer like this for no charge like this. You like people getting nice charges, everything else don't get charges like this. I said, I'm telling you, bro, they trying to roof me. So I go in there, man. The hearing officer was mad cool, bro. Like, put the microphone to the side, like, hey, so do you plead? He was like, giving me the sound, like, word, you know what I mean? So bless me, man. Came home and man, dog, like the feeling, I ain't gonna lie, man. I was wondering after all that time, like,
That was the longest time you'd ever done.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
not only
that
was it
one
the
stretch,
longest time you'd ever
absolutely.
done, it was the hardest time.
Yeah, the longest and the hardest
You this
time.
time you got your two kids and you got a third kid
Hmm.
that you had. I think I don't even know if you had met your son prior to going in. Did you meet your son prior to going in?
Yeah, yeah, he was but the thing was, I had already even prior to that did the year. So
You were
like
gone from his life for a year.
for a year already. Then he was already only a little over a year by the time I got the 9. So from the year time, from when we did a bit together, I made it out for like 3, 4 years maybe. So then I did that year, and when I did the year, I was only out for 7 months, man. 7 months, bro. And it was like I did good for 5 months. Literally. 5 out of them 7 months, I did good. And all it took was 2 months. As soon as I did one thing, went around one area and just did one thing, and the negativity
It
just
just pulled
spread,
you right
bro.
back in.
And I allowed it to happen, man. Just slowly, like, I let the pressure get to me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being real, like, it was the, man, fuck it. Like, word, I got this thing with saying fuck it, man. Like, that shit, as I got older, man, I had to be real with what I was saying. And to me, when we saying fuck it in any situation, you really saying, man, I can't handle the pressure. And so
That's you quitting.
yeah, for a person like me, when I realized the true meaning of what I was saying by them cover up words, fuck it. No, say what you really saying to yourself, bro. Say you can't handle the pressure. It hit different with me. You know what I'm saying? When I looked at it like that, it hit different because I can handle the pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like I always been able to handle pressure. It's just that's the easy way out, and it's the easy way to look at it. So it make you think you ain't really being like that, like really being a little bitch for real. Like, no, that's what that is, bro. That fucking shit, that shit's being a little bitch in my eyes. Bro. I left my family behind. You know what I mean? Like, and
Your
it's
kids
still
grew up. They grew up.
my
Well,
kids
and I
grown.
know both. We've been in each other's lives since the '90s, since we were teenagers.
Uh,
I've known both your kids since the moment they were born.
facts.
You continue getting locked up to the point that when you come home this time, both of your kids are now over the age of 18. You were
Uh,
gone the majority of their life in the beginning.
facts.
You came home, they were no longer little kids in diapers no more. Now they're in middle school. You leave, you come home, they're no longer in school
Facts.
and they're grown. And now you've got this new little boy. And I don't, if you don't want to talk about it, you ain't got to
No,
never talk
no, we
about it.
can.
Would you dealt with things while you were locked up that were
Yeah.
going on in the streets
Yeah.
that I know played a major part
Oh
in your
man,
mental.
bro.
Do you want to get into what happened with your youngest son?
Yeah. So we can do some of that. We can talk without talking
If
that
you
of it.
want to talk about it, you can.
So
If not, we move on.
like this second bid here, man, like I'm grateful that my kids love me, man, and still respect me. You know what I mean? Because I really don't deserve some of that from my children, man. And with that, man, like I still feel now like there's still something undertone that my older kids feel from that, and I understand it. You know what I'm saying? But
From your
like,
bed.
yeah, like leaving them again. You know what I'm saying? And I've addressed it with them. I've acknowledged it and faced it, but
But that's
it's
because you come
still,
home. They went from not having a dad their whole life
yeah.
to you returning, you actually being there 3-4 years, and now you're gone again. It's
Yes.
almost a decade.
So like it's like they don't want to. Cause my kids love me, man. They don't want me to feel bad. I think, but they got some anger in there at me, and rightfully so.
Rightfully
You know what
so.
I'm saying? Rightfully so. So like I just saying that because I want people to see like how much this really affects families, man. Like being incarcerated affects families, and guys need to start understanding, bro. When we get locked up, it's not about who's there for you all the time, bro. Like we got to come to a point to where we looking at this shit for what we doing. Is it gangster for you to leave your family in the streets to fend for themselves? Fuck no. It is not. None of that shit is cool. There's nothing okay with that shit. That shit is for the birds.
I tell everybody, not to cut you off, the most gangster shit you can do is get up every day, put them boots on, or whatever it is you do in life to take care of that family, head out that door and provide.
Bro,
That's the most gangster shit you can do in this life is to take care of that family, man.
that's word, bro. And I try to tell my kids this, man. Like, so you think about like for me, bro. Like, I've been gone so long. Options, options. I killed my options to the point to where it's like Hail Mary pass, and it's like for everything that my kids lost, man, due to me, like I got this thing called the P's, man. It's the 3 P's. And when it comes to the kid, it's only 2 P's. But when you're talking the kid and your woman, it's the 3, and that's provide, please, and protect. That is a big thing that make a man in my eyes. And when you don't have them things, which get stripped from you in prison, my woman, I can't please, provide, or protect, and my kids, I can't protect and provide. You know what I'm saying? And I could at times, but when I did do that, like my first bid, I did a lot more because I still had some money put away from things I had before I got locked up. This bid, man, I got into things, but I was really fighting myself the whole time to really get myself out of the habit of that dope boy mindset. So it was times, and I still do it now. Like I had to train myself to come out here and try to do this thing legal and not think of the easiest route out.
Not do what we've always done.
Exactly, because I want to be able to have that security for my kids, man, the stability and the things I couldn't do before. I don't care how grown they are. I want to be able to have a spot. They need to borrow some money, have this. Them things matter to me. And like just doing regular everyday shit is not going to make it for what I lost because there's too many things to accumulate. So I'm in the mindset of just shooting big with it because I got to. And the thing is with that, man, I know it's going to happen because of the intent in the heart. Simple as that. My intent.
Yeah, and it's chapel. Yeah, it's live. Somebody says it's even live though. Yeah, it's live. You live and in effect. Go ahead.
But yeah, man. But the kids, man, I went through a lot. Like my son, my youngest son, man. Like
now, for everybody, you got 2 baby mamas.
Yeah.
When you leave this time around and you go do the 9 years, your second baby mama has got your son, your little boy. He's a little bit, maybe a year, a little bit older, right?
Yeah.
She's got him. Yeah. She's out there. You're no longer around. Yeah. Y'all weren't really together when you left. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now you got the second baby mom. You got a kid with.
Yeah. So
she's got him.
I had to give over custody to the kid's grandmother when I got locked up because I was locked up. Their mom was in a bad place. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted my son to be safe. So I gave her a temporary custody at the time. And at some point, the baby mom went on the run for something out here off to Alaska. And
she left. She caught charges in Virginia, took off from Virginia with the child to Alaska.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy. Like not to sound crazy, but she didn't just like go another state over. She left Virginia and took
Alaska.
A 1-year-old to Alaska.
Like that's like being in Russia. That's right. How far.
That's what it sounds like to us, right?
Alaska used to be part of Russia.
So like she's messed up in the game. She got warrants. Now she's in Alaska with this 1-year-old.
Yeah. Right? So she's in Alaska, and at some point, man, I get a call. I call home, and it's like, yo, your son is out there. The baby mom then left him with somebody or whatever. I don't know the whole situation, who this person was or whatever. But you know, I'm gonna leave some out. But long story, my son getting left somewhere where his grandfather, which is her father and mother, had to pay somebody big money to get a round trip plane ticket and fly my son back to VA. So he's out here, man. And I know I'm not gonna lie, like I try not to have I don't try to hold grudges, nothing like that. And I'm a believer that a lot of the things we do, man, our life is controlled by other things that we don't really understand. And I don't say that to take blame off of what people do, because it's our choice when we get in them positions in the first place. But it just hurts, man, when I think about that, man. And it's like even my youngest, you know, like I'm even struggling right now with that. Like, you know, us trying to get our bond back going. And a lot of
never been a bond. Y'all's whole bond has been penitentiary photos and phone calls.
Facts. And I've been adjusting so much out here. I've had times to where like it was a couple of weeks to where I don't know, when I was locked up, I had this thing where I didn't look at pictures and shit. Like a lot of people put pictures on the wall. I didn't do that.
No, that stuff hurts.
It would drive me nuts.
Right, it hurts.
So I have photo albums. And that method of repressing things was kind of like became habitual. You know what I mean? I noticed when I was coming home, I was doing the same thing, and I was able to be, and I'm like, damn, like now this is not me. I can see my son, but I couldn't see him like I want to, but I was dealing with it the same way. But then it was creating a habit to where it's like, man, I won't call and all. I'm like, whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really, I peeped it, but it was just like somehow I was just moving on that same repetitive way of dealing with the situation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm still working on me and him getting. I was just talking to him earlier, man, trying to get more time with my kids, man. Me and my daughter, we've been rocky at times here lately, and man, it's just a lot, dude.
A
Like,
lot of
it's
that,
been
a lot of
of
that boils down to the fact that y'all have, she has a lot of you in her.
yeah, she is.
You know what I mean?
She's
And
so much
in the
like
videos
me,
I've
man.
seen she's done, and the stuff I've seen of her, like I've never, you know, last time I seen her, like face to face, she was a little girl. She was in diapers, and now I see videos of her. She's a dope tattoo artist. She works at a shop, like she's nice. She's a piercer. She grew up, man. But so what I wanted to do with this video is because I like I said, I'll say this time and time again because I'm adamant on it. There's no glorification in it. Like I said, you have to know where you're going. You got to know where you've been. To know somebody who they are today and respect that. Sometimes you have to like really know who they were. Like I've got people watching me right now that don't know me from that life. They know me from the business life. They know me. These are our parents at my son's school that I know are watching. To them, it might be a shock to hear that I did these things because they don't view me in that aspect, you know. And but that's part of my story. So with all that being said, I can summarize just to sum up everything. Prior to all this, you were very violent. Short fuse, very short, and I know that.
That's one of the last things I've been working on.
Tell 100 stories. I mean, if I had to realistically put a number on how many fights me and you have fought side by side, it would be hard.
Yeah, we was racking.
Because I remember in Philly, there was days when we would fight 6 to 7 times. This is no exaggeration. This is somebody that's not alive, somebody that'll back the show. There were days we fought 6, 7 times.
Bro, right off rip. As soon as we got off.
We hadn't been there 20 minutes.
Bro, the first day we got there, like, if I'm not mistaken, that particular time, I actually went back out there. Jimmy Paul called, was like, bro, I need you back out here, man. Some shit popping off. So we drove back from Richmond, got on the train. 2 young boys got on the train.
Yeah, we was out
back.
Look, this is the way, and this is like, I don't fabricate this shit. At the time, I just turned 19. He's 16. We leave Virginia on an Amtrak train. And you know what our backpacks provide or consist of? We bought clothes when we got there. We didn't bring much clothes with us. The backpack consisted of a couple pounds of weed, thousands of dollars in money, pistols, and a bulletproof vest.
Right.
As teenagers, that's what we're leaving Virginia. And we left here initially. I had warrants in Virginia to begin with at 19. You say, yo, let's bounce to Philly. We did. When we go back to Philly, no sooner, I'm talking about no sooner than we get to Philly, we go in the house. I remember this shit so clearly. We go in your bedroom.
In the first 20 minutes.
We put the bag up. We got this duffel bag with all the stuff in it. We got to stash it. I think we stuck it in the ceiling because you had to push up tiles in the bedroom. We stick it in the ceiling so your pops wouldn't find it.
Drops in and shit.
Your pops ends up finding the bag. We literally go in there, stick the bag in the ceiling, and head out to the block. I think we leave there. I think we went over. We went down Carroll Street. We went down to Carroll Street.
We walked up when we seen Shawnee, who was at where at Patterson School. Was at 70th
on the side where the big ass fence is.
Yeah, that's Patterson. We was at 70th and Elmwood when that happened. When this little ass man, this little motherfucker, look, Jay, it's his first 20 minutes in Philly.
First 20 minutes in Philly, man.
I'm talking about, man, this the same young boy at the time I was telling you when I was rumbling with the cop. He was in the handcuffs. And he was younger than me, not much.
A wild young
time
dude,
he felt younger. His older brother was more like my age. And man, bro had, I don't know what was going on. He was clinging some stick against the fence of the school. Ding, ding, ding. And some dude was like, man, stop clinging that stick. He was like, man, fuck you. Some talks it like a little badass kid. And dude said something to me, picked up a hubcap.
Out the gutter, yeah.
Like, what you gonna do, pussy? Boom, and slings a hubcap, smacks me, slamming his forehead with the giant.
So bad, man.
Jay was like, man, what the fuck? I was like, show, man, what you doing, man?
And there was beat cops right there.
Yeah, he started running from the damn police. Jay's like, man, what the fuck?
I got like, warrants. Man. We take off.
Yeah. That was the first 20 minutes, man, in Philly. Like, first 20 minutes.
Like, there's stories I ain't even told. Like, we're at this park next to his house called Finnegan Park, right? Everybody post up at this park. You got old heads out there drinking beer. You got dudes out there smoking Sherm, which is PCP, boat wet. You got dudes out there smoking blunts. You got basketball courts, so you got basketball running to all single times. Then there's this big baseball field right there. Everybody goes to the park. You got dudes out there hustling. I've never even told us, so we're out there one day just walking down the sidewalk, and we end up getting into it with a whole entire school bus of baseball players that are the same age as us. These ain't kids.
Yeah.
These are dudes that like got took from another place to come over here to scrimmage and play baseball.
Yeah.
We end up fighting, me and him, and I think it was like me, you, Jimmy Paul, and I want to say JJ.
JJ was out there. Yeah.
Got to rumbling with a whole school bus full of dudes with baseball bats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these are stories I
think Pat was out there.
I think Pat was out there.
Shout out to Pat.
Like we had situations where we got the what up Pat, what up JJ? We get into situations where we're fighting at the 8-ball courts. We get in situations we're fighting in the poppy stores inside the bodegas.
Yeah.
We get in situations where we walk down the street and it's gonna be a fight. You know what I mean?
Man, shit was crazy. Like,
so let's get away from that, right? So now that everybody's got a backstory on who you were, how you were, where you come from, what life was like, who are you today? What's life like today? Like, and people, you see it, so you hear the violence, you hear the stories, and you're automatically, people are so quick to judge. He's cocky, he's arrogant, he's got a foul mouth. How can he be a man of God? He cusses. How can he be a man of God? He you know, all this violence. Like, to just summarize it, who are you today and who are you trying to become, man? Who do you look to be?
Man, I'm a man of God, man. I'm a man of God, and Jesus saved my life, man. So, and I look at that as, man, I'm one of them dudes, man. If you rock with me, I'm rocking with you, and you rock with me like no other, and that's just how I feel. So, you know, but and it's like I want to show people, like, on this avenue, like, who am I? That changed my life. So I like to, when that happens to you and you've been in hell your whole life and you found the key out.
It's something that brings you peace.
Yeah, the peace that came over me. I never had that, man. Tormented soul. My whole life, I searched for peace, man. That's all I wanted, man. And your whole life is violence and your whole life is just chaos, man. You want peace, man. You want peace. You want quiet, man. You just want, like, and I won't fulfill neither, man. Like, it just, with that, it's like, man, God just snatched me up out of nowhere. It was like, man, here, like, it's on you, you know what I mean? But I'm here, and like, changed my life in a major way. And you want other people, you want to share that. Like I said, that's a key out of hell. So it just made me want to give people the key out of hell, man. And like, I'm one of them people, man, just because it worked for me don't mean it's gonna work for you. You know what I mean? And that go with everything. That go with everything. But when it come to that, that's something different, because it just because it's gonna work for you too, just in a different way than it did me. Everybody don't got the same journey. So, you know, I just like to share that, man. I like to go, I like to do things, man, and give back. I've taken so much, man. I've taken so much, whether I was robbing people, whether I was selling drugs, you know what I mean? Like, I won't doing nothing adding to this world, man. So
no, we hurt.
Yeah,
we hurt people, we hurt families, we hurt society. We were burdens, man.
When me and him would hang out, man, we be drinking liquor. We drinking Coca-Cola tonight.
Yeah, Coca-Cola and Nas, man. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, we hurt a lot of people. I know that, and I know that for a fact. You know what I mean? I've been in the drug game as far back as I can remember. Once I learned that, you know, I learned that drugs could financially support me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't grow up in a household where there was a whole bunch of money. It wasn't just like, here's a bunch of money, go with your friends here, go there. If I really, like, my mom, and I can't take nothing from my mom if she's watching, I love you, Mom. They always did what they could, but when you come up like with less, you have to find ways to get more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say I didn't know what I was doing, but at a young age, selling drugs at 12, 13 years old, I felt like, to me, it was just like selling candy.
It's regular,
you know what I mean?
shit,
It's regular. This is how I get money. Everybody else does it. Look at this man. He's driving a Mercedes. You know what I mean? Look at this dude. He's got a big ass gold chain on. All the girls like him. As a young boy, you see that and you gravitate towards it. Right. And I think what we fail to realize at times is everything we've talked about today, everything we talked about tonight, the stories we shared, the past that we shared, all that stuff will go on to be what tormented us.
Yeah, fact.
It's not like there was just shit. I mean, we all go through things in life, but we created a lot of the torment, a lot of the stuff that made us become who we were.
Yeah.
When I came home from prison after 10 years, do you know how hard it was? Me and my wife, I'm talking about we would argue, we would go at it because I was constantly trying to find a way to get out the house.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it at the time, but what I was trying
that's
to
what I was
do
doing.
is I was trying to claw my way back to what I knew.
Mm-hmm.
This was
That's
normal.
the easiest thing.
This was good. I'm stable. You know what I mean? Like I've got custody of my son now. I'm starting to run this business. I'm doing it, but at the same time, I'm trying to get back out in the streets. And she didn't allow me. And that was a big part. I can never take that from her. That was a big part of my success, is that I had somebody for once in my life that said, you're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I never had nobody that would say, you, even when I would call you, that I take that back. Because there was times I would call you and you would be at home with your girl at the time and your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be like, what are you doing? I'd be like, I'm out here jacking. And would you be like, bro, what is you doing, man? Go home. You know what I mean? Go home. And I'd be like, nah, man, I got to get this money, man. Because at the time, you had an apartment and I had just come off a bad breakup. Remember all that shit. I didn't care about nothing. I started drinking real heavy and I went into demon mode. And I remember you telling me, you was like, bro, you're going to end up dying in the streets, man. I'm on the way. Where you at? If you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. Like, at least if I'm there, I can make sure you're safe.
Right.
And you trying to stop me ultimately drew you right into what, because you was trying to go on that point. You was working a job. You had a nice apartment. You had you, your girl at the time, and both your kids. All of y'all was under the roof. She's making dinner every night. You're going to work in the morning. You're coming home.
Kids, I tried there for a minute, dude.
And meanwhile, I'm in the streets. You know what I mean? I'm still in the streets. You, it's kind of like our reverses, our roles have reversed. Because I was always the one that I had the apartment. I was here, there, and you always had a place. You know what I mean? You always, from the moment you had children, you had your own place.
Absolutely.
But all that shit, it ultimately turned us into what we became, right?
Yeah,
which is self-inflicted.
Without that, man, we can't be what we are right now without that, man. I don't regret none of them things. In fact, like I embrace them, man. I'm actually grateful for them, even for being incarcerated. The only hard part about it is what it took from my family and the kids. Other than that, for me, that saved my life. It saved my life. And like I really believe that, like, when you start off life in the wrong path, you need to hit the floor. You gotta hit the floor. You gotta hit rock bottom. Like if you're starting off good, it's a difference. Your course of life, your trajectory is going in a different way. So like rock bottom is not necessarily necessary. But if you live in that life and you really in that shit, man, for real, bro, I had to hit rock bottom.
What was your rock bottom?
Man, my rock
was
bottom
it sitting in that hole?
Sitting in that cell, man, in that prison, bro. Knowing, and at the times when I was just doing the worst, when I just said fuck everything, like just sitting in there, just like gave up on life, bro. I got suicidal. Like, man, I was just out of it. Like I was just tired, man. I was so tired, bro.
But you can't get away
just
from
the
it.
Constant. It didn't matter how much. It was like, you know what I felt like, bro? We played Grand Theft Auto back in the day, man. And you know, when you run up into the spot where, you know, the algorithm off, you can't go no more. You're walking up against the wall, you stuck right there.
Glitching.
That's how that shit felt, bro. Like no matter what I did, I'm hitting that wall. There's nothing I can do till they release me. It was one of the things I just felt stuck. Everything I was trying to do, everything I can gain, I was sitting there to do nothing with it. Now I started writing the music again. That was really big. Honestly, I forget to mention that.
Music's therapeutic.
That was big therapy for me, man, because I had got out of it for so long. And when I started back, I was in the hole. And I was in the hole that time. I was getting transferred from a level 2, because I went from a 2 to a 3 to a 2 to a 5. So I went back down because at Buckingham, you know, it was so elusive a prison. You can't catch charges there. I don't give a shit what you do. If you catch charges there, man, you just asking for it. Like you can turn all the way up. They just not gonna push the issue there. So my custody level went down. But man, I made it for 4 months at that spot and ended right up at Sussex 2. And from there I went to Sussex 1. But it was like when I went in that hole that time, dude, and I was like, damn, like I didn't know my fate at the time. I thought I was gonna catch street charges, you know what I mean? Because the shit was kind of crazy.
What happened was so serious you thought that they were gonna actually hit you with
it was weapons and
criminal
shit
charges
like that involved.
allegedly.
And so you know, I thought like, man, I was sitting back there like, bro, you did it now. You know what I mean? And I also had got caught with narcotics all types of shit. They just didn't push it to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? So
You had serious charges. They weren't. They're like, that's the least of our worries.
yeah,
They find that stuff all the time.
got to reckon with the police on that one, but I was in handcuffs. So really, they just did what they wanted to do with me, just fuck me up while I was in handcuffs. But yeah, man, it was like, I don't know, the music was therapy, man. Music was therapy. I started to write a book. You know, I stopped on it because I felt like I had to get out here a little more. You know what I'm saying? Add some more to that. But even in writing that book, like if you think about it, the music in the book and there's other things people could do, I think, man, it really helped me, man, because what that did without even really realizing it was I was releasing and I was feeling all that shit that I blocked out and repressed. I'm writing this book and writing this music. I'm like having to experience that shit. And it was like, I think that's kind of like for you too, when you do the tube, that might be the same similar thing. Like
I tell people, even to this day, YouTube is very therapeutic for me.
yeah.
I was able to, we talk about how the things we went through made us who we were. A lot of the stuff we can't shake, the stuff we see in life that we just, no matter what you're doing, you can be having a great day and it might come into your mind.
Yeah,
or it gets quiet, it comes into your mind, and the things will haunt you. With YouTube, it became an outlet for me. I felt like with a lot of these stories that I told, a lot of the stuff was the first time I'd ever done anything with it but trap it in my head.
Yeah,
and once I got it out, I realized that when the first time I told a prison story on YouTube, once I've talked about it and I really broke it down, because I'd only thought about it, speaking about it really helped me break down what I'd seen, what I'd been through, everything that transpired that day. After I'd made that first video like that, bro, and I posted it and I turned the camera off, I remember I sat back and I let out a sigh.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a weight was lifted off my chest. And as I started to do more of the prison content and talk about the different characters I witnessed, the bad things I had seen, and I got feedback. That was a big thing for me. This video helped me.
Yeah.
This video saved me.
Yeah,
because of you, I stopped getting high.
That does a lot for me as well. I like
it became an outlet. Man. Like you said, music became your outlet. Mm-hmm. And I've told people, and you could attest to this, had I not went away to prison, had we not done all that time, there's a very good chance music would have became the career I'd followed.
Yeah, fact.
You know that I've never spit for nobody. Maybe I'll throw a song together one day. Maybe he can get me on the mic. We'll see what happens.
On there one day.
But I think y'all gonna be like, you're not ready, man. You're really not. That's what I was known for. Like you see the gift of gab I have with talking on YouTube. When it comes to writing and you put it, and I don't write anything as far as this goes. When it comes to writing music and putting bars together and 16s, it was something I was real good at. That was my first form of therapy. Once I lost that, I had to try to figure out what is my therapy now? This became my therapy. I think you're going to be great at doing this. I think there's something that YouTube needs. You have got a rack of stories. When I mean a rack, going back to 12 years old, you escaped from the detention center. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Dudes were climbing out the window. People were leaving bikes on the side. They were coming. You got
we got some stories.
So many stories. We've got a good 3 years worth of stories. If you did 2 episodes a week that you could do, I think you will do great on YouTube. He was on TikTok, and today I was supposed to drop a video yesterday. And I don't like when people say, "Oh, you didn't do what you were saying you're gonna do." He got out of church yesterday, and I went and picked him up. This was right after noon. I took my son to a birthday party at his friend's house. They went and did some things. I picked him up, and from there, first of all, we had to catch up, man. And what y'all seen on camera tonight, as far as us talking about all the stuff we used to do and the bad things, there wasn't none of that. That's not been where our energy's at. It's not where our conversation's been. This is like the first time we've really got into everything from the past. It's been on some more of 2 grown men, 2 guys that are like brothers, really catching up, enjoying the company of not having to worry about getting each other, into trouble or none of that. But I told him, I said, with TikTok is a lot. We watch TikTok, most people do, but TikTok's just a different feel. Yeah. If you ain't got a face covered in different color tattoos and green hair, and you're just, TikTok's a different platform. Some dudes can do it, some can't. Yes. I told him, if you really want to make a career out of this, come to YouTube. People here are going to accept you. There's a lot of trolling on TikTok and people that just want to talk because there's a lot of kids on there. So the last 2 days we've been transitioning, me teaching you YouTube Studio, vidIQ, editing, everything that goes into it.
Right.
So soon y'all gonna start seeing videos.
Yeah,
You have a new guy that's now in the genre that I'll validate the stuff he says. The stuff he says in prison, I've done time with him. I know how he is. The stuff he says in the streets, I've been out there with him. I know how he is. I think you'll do great. You're gonna be a breath of fresh air for a genre that really, really needs it. It's been the same people year after year. Just be my advice to you would be, first and foremost, watch the friendships you make on YouTube. And that goes for anything, not just YouTube, but life in general.
Yeah,
Watch the ones you start to call your friends. And secondly, have fun with it, man. This should not be something that you just turn into a career and becomes therapeutic. Have fun with it. I have fun when I do YouTube. I have fun with my lives. I'm sorry, I'm not engaging with the comments. I usually engage the entire time because it's just me here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have nobody to talk to, so I'm in and out of the comments section. He's gonna be great, man. Y'all make sure you go and you hit up GT Philly on YouTube. The letter G, the letter T, space, the word Philly. Subscribe because there's a lot of dope content coming. I'm gonna jump on with him as much as I can, and whenever he'll let me get on, I'll get on with him. It's his. He's got to find his path. Will work for me, and that might not work for him. But y'all make sure y'all go over there. Subscribe to the man's channel, man.
Yeah,
Do the same thing on TikTok so that you can see the journey. I'm gonna say it again.
Show
GT Philly on
some
YouTube,
love, man. Show your boy some love, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been feeling the YouTube vibe, man. Like it's a little more set for me. TikTok just, you do more shorts, lives. Like the lives is cool, but they do the battles over there. That's not really. I'm really not big on that too much. I don't mind it, but I like to do maybe longer videos, which is more suitable for YouTube. Correct?
I mean, shorts are good for building a fan base, but the people that subscribe to you for the shorts, they're only really there to watch a 60-second video.
Yeah, fact.
And you're only going to get but so much off your chest. You're only going to be able to help people but so much and push a message with 60 seconds.
Yeah.
It's almost an hour and 40 minutes. The time has flown.
Yeah, it's been an hour.
Or an hour and 36 minutes and 20 seconds. Like the time starts to fly. The message you got to push, and you got a beautiful message. We talk a lot. You're very intelligent. You're very motivated. Like y'all go look at his stuff on TikTok and the motivational stuff he does. You're like, that's a completely different dude. That's more of a glimpse of who he is today.
Yeah,
what we did tonight was give you more of a glimpse of who we were.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Well, before we get out of here, man, is there anything that you would like to say to anybody out there? Take a couple minutes. Any advice you like to give to anybody going through something?
Man, I'm gonna say this, man. Life gonna throw it at you regardless. I don't care what it is. Life gonna throw it at you regardless. Challenge accepted every time. That's how we gotta look at things, man. Challenge accepted. Perspective is everything, man. We could be looking at the situation this way. Look at it this way. You can get so many different results out of just always going at it the one way, man. Like me, I like to spark thought. I ain't here to teach nobody nothing, preach none of that, man. But I felt like, man, if we're having a conversation, man, I should be able to get something out of you. You should be able to get something out of me, man. You know what I mean? Like we should better walk away from this and everything. I like to, I'm versatile with it, man. I like to, joke around and kick it and everything. I be serious all day long, you know what I mean? But man, I feel like, man, keep on pushing. That's me, man. Keep on pushing. Never give up, man. And never forget where you came from. Like, that's it, man. Don't forget where you came from, but look in the future, man. That's it. Keep it looking forward, man. That's me. You know what I mean? Go time all day, every day, man. I keep it moving, man. Never stop.
Well, we did it again, y'all. We did it again. The live stream. Welcome home. I love you.
Absolutely, man. I love you too, boy.
It's my guy, but y'all know I'm gonna go ahead and close out and y'all have a great night. But anyways, these streets, these jails, these prisons, all just a crazier world. It's out of an already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. Just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. To all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, just still watching me. Y'all know how we do.
Salute.
Salute.